Hi everybody, this is Nikita from the Jewelry by Nikita store. Here I am live today answering to all the questions that you guys asked us over the last few days. So let's get started right away. So the first question that I have here is, what are the best kind of tali chains that don't prick or irritate? So when it comes to tali chains, this is something that you wear every day, right? So I always suggest that comfort is the key. So you need to make sure that you're picking something that is comfortable for you, that is light in weight for you. And I swear by this chain called the snake chain, which is a machine made chain. Let me explain a little bit about what a machine made chain and what a handmade chain is. So initially, back in the day, people would only use handmade chains that were heavier in weight. But right now, you can opt for a machine made chain where the finish and make is so fine that you don't have the small fine lines of gold coming out of it. Here's another machine made chain. The context to this is that because when you pick a handmade chain, what happens is a handmade chain is generally made using thin gold, fine gold wires that are either twisted or tied together or like made into a rope. So what happens with this is over time they either break or small tiga, you call them tiga, like those small fine lines of gold come out. So when they come out is when it gets very uncomfortable, it pricks you or it gets very irritating. So it's always better to select like a machine made chain. I really, like I told you, I swear by this chain called a snake chain, which is completely finely finished and you won't have any irritation when you wear it. Then we got a lot of questions about lab grown diamonds, and I would like to break it down to you. So, one of the first questions that I have about lab grown diamonds is, are your diamonds lab grown diamonds? So, no, we do not use lab grown diamonds at Jewelry by Nikita. We only use naturally formed Belgium cut diamonds that are of the superior most quality. Then a few of you asked us how to identify whether the diamonds are original or lab grown. So with naked eye, you really can't tell what is real and what is lab grown. That is because lab grown also has the same chemical composition as a real diamond. But with time, there are a lot of machinery, like a lot of testing devices, scanners that have come into place where you put the diamond and you know what is lab and what is a natural diamond. So back then, these machines were only in testing companies because they were a lot more expensive. But now the cost of these machines has also come down. So a lot of jewelry stores also carry these machines. So, we can show you the difference between what is real and what is not. Then another question that I have here is, what's your take on lab grown diamonds in general? So according to me, a lab grown diamond is nothing but a synthetic diamond. That is something made in a factory, right? So any day for me, something that is natural has a more better value than something that is made in a factory. Um, Coming to that, initially lab grown diamonds were somewhere around 60% of the cost of a real diamond. But right now, the price of lab grown diamonds has fallen down to 2 to 3%. What does that mean? There is so much supply, there's abundance of supply, and that is the reason why the cost is so much lesser. Also, it's not natural. That is something that is made, so there is no end to it. It's not rare. You can make how much ever of it, so there's definitely no value. Even if it has a little bit of value right now, with time I feel it's only going to become like Swarovskis or CZs. And another question I have about lab grown diamond is, what is the difference between natural and lab grown diamond? Is it worth buying a lab grown diamond? So, talking about the worth, if you're looking for some CZ jewelry or an American diamond or a Swarovski jewelry, sure, lab grown is a better alternative. But if you're looking for diamond jewelry, definitely do not. It's a big no for me. I would not suggest. And also, investment wise, if you were to see, definitely a natural diamond has a lot more resale value than compared to a lab grown diamond. Then, my next question is, what is the difference between a normal pearl and mother of pearl? So, pearls are basically formed in oyster shells. Pearls are formed when there is an irritant in the shell. Like it could even be a small grain of a sand, but the calcium forms around it and it becomes into a pearl. Now, what is a mother of pearl? Here I can show you an example. Here I have these three pearls that are naturally formed. Pearls can be formed shapeless, they can be formed round or oval or in any shape. But the mother of pearl is something that is formed on the shell of that oyster. So basically, it's like a flake, and that can be cut or carved into any shape that you want. The chemical composition is again the same. It is again the same calcium that is there. It's just that the pearl forms around an irritant. This forms on the shell. It's a layer of the shell. Price wise, if you were to say, definitely a pearl that is formed has more value than the mother of pearl. Here I have a question that actually a lot of people in the store, like a lot of my customers or clients, have also asked in the recent past. What is the difference between kundan work and polki in jewelry? And what is the price difference between the two? So when you talk about kundan, there are two things to it. There's kundan stone and there's kundan work. Basically, a kundan stone is nothing but a piece of glass. It's just a piece of glass put into work on wax. Basically, it's put on wax with a foil, a colored foil, and there's gold put onto it. That is a kundan stone. Again, kundan work is something where there's a gold frame. Then we put wax. You can also put real stones on it, and then you finish it with 24 karat gold. So basically, kundan work is this. So this is basically, there's a frame, there's wax, and then there is a polki or an uncut diamond on top of it, and it's finished with 24 karat gold foiling on top. Now the same workmanship is also done using a glass stone, which we don't use at Jewelry by Nikita, but that is also called a kundan. Now as opposed to that, this is polki work. So in polki jewelry, you don't generally use wax. It's like empty from behind. So this is how polki jewelry looks, and this is how kundan jewelry looks. In kundan jewelry, there is usage of wax. Then I have a question. What is the difference between polki and flat diamonds? So polki and flat diamonds are nothing but they're the same. The stone is the same. So basically it is the raw form of a diamond that's like a flat diamond. That is like a flake or a raw flake of a diamond. So here we have flat diamonds where you can see they're transparent. They will have a cut only on the sides. So there is no reflection because it's just cut into a flake. When the same flake is finished with a silver foil underneath that, the light reflects through that and it looks like this. So basically flat diamond and polkis are the same stone, but we use a silver foil behind it for the reflection, for it to look brighter this way, and that's when we call it a polki. Then I have a question. Once emeralds or rubies are embedded into jewelry, it's difficult to know how pure they are. Is this true? Yes, definitely it is difficult to know how pure they are once they're set in jewelry. So what happens is that, like, when you have a loose stone, you can look at it from all the sides. You can look for inclusions in it. You can look for breakages in it. You can look for damages. You can look for the color. You know the true color of it. You know the true reflection of it. But once it is embedded into jewelry, it is very hard to know the color because, see, there is this kind of workmanship, which is kundan again. It's closed from behind. So there is no way you can gauge the color of this stone. Then even if when you look at these stones, if there is some inclusion or cuts on the side, you would not know because of the kind of setting. This is channel setting. Either with the prongs it will be covered, with the setting it will be covered, or if there's a backing behind, if there's a gold backing behind, you would not know. So definitely you can vaguely tell the quality, you can vaguely tell the size, but with that is also with a lot of knowledge, like a lot of practice. But it is highly impossible to gauge and tell you what is the exact quality and the exact size of that stone if it is already set in jewelry. Then I have, how do I know the price of gems, their purity and their right value? So gems like diamonds can also be based on color, their clarity, their cut or size, and also their origin. When I talk about the color, color is when how pleasing is the color. Let's take an example of an emerald. So how pleasing is the color? Is it very dark in green? Is it like blackish in color? Is it very vivid green? Is it very bright? So the color matters. If it is too dark, it has a lesser value. If it is too light, also it has a lesser value. It should be very pleasing in green. Then I was talking about the clarity of it. So as gemstones are all real gemstones, they're naturally formed, they're real stones, they are bound to have inclusions. So it also depends on how bad, how many cuts are there, or how many black spots are there, how clean is it. The cleaner the stone, the more the value. Again, size also matters because these are all naturally occurring stones. If it is a smaller size, it's easy to find as opposed to something very big. So a bigger stone is again rare. So bigger stones generally have more value. Then the most important is origin. So all these stones have an origin. Now let's start with emeralds. Emeralds can either be Colombian, they could be Zambian, they could be Afghani, they could be Russian, or a lot more. But it depends on how rare is it. Now, Colombian emeralds are something that are not to be found anymore. Those are what are in circulation, that are in trade. So definitely those have a higher value as opposed to Zambian or Russian that you still find. But because Colombian is so expensive, there is another alternative to that, which is a Russian emerald. Russian emerald is also an emerald that mimics the color of the Colombian emerald, but because of the availability, a vaster, wider availability of it, it is a little less priced. Then we have rubies. Rubies also have different origins. There is Bangkok, there's Burmese, there's Mozambique. So basically, the origin matters. Like the rarer it is, the better it is. Then I have a question where they've asked, can you please talk about tourmaline stones? Have no idea what they are and if it's worth spending. So, what are tourmaline stones? So, tourmalines are also semi-precious stones. They also come from different origins. But the thing is, they are currently a little more widely used because it's a very good alternative to a ruby. So it is hard to find ruby, like big ruby stones. Right now, what is in trend is big size of gemstones. So the big ruby stones are very hard to find that are naturally formed without any intrusions. Now we have tourmalines that are pinker in color, a lot more pleasing in color. The clarity is clean. The price is a little lesser than a ruby, and you can enjoy a bigger size of it at the same time. Tourmalines come in multiple colors like greens, you get blues, you get blacks, but in India, pink is something that is most widely used. So this was about tourmalines. Know about the value of it, again, that also depends on the clarity, the cleanliness, the finish, and all of that. Then I have, what are the most popular pearl jewelry styles and trends? So some of the most popular jewelry styles and trends are basically that have been in the fashion or in the industry for a very long time. One could be Satlara. This is the Nizami style Satlara. So this is something very popular and that has always been in trend. That's a classic. Then pearls are very widely used in concepts like this, which is Gottapusulu. This is typical of Telangana. Then pearls are also used in layered necklaces like this. That is again very unique. So there's nothing like, what is a trend or style? Pearls are actually used in 50-60% of the jewelry in India that you see. So basically, like they're very, very widely used. And some of these are the traditional ways of wearing pearls. Then we have, what are the differences between freshwater Akoya and Tahitian pearls? So we have done a lot of pearl videos in the past. If you want in detailed information about it, you can have a look at those videos, but I can just give you a gist about it. So pearls again are nothing but naturally formed in a shell. So when the shell opens by itself and naturally an irritant goes into it and the pearl forms around it, then it is basically a natural pearl. In natural pearl, there are two types of pearls. It can either be Basra or it can be KC. Again, Basra is extinct. You don't get Basra pearls anymore. So that is what is in trade, and that is the reason why Basra pearls are a little more expensive Then we have Casey pearls, which are Japanese pearls, which are also naturally formed. But since they are still available, the price is slight bit lower than Basra. Then what are cultured pearls? In cultured pearls is where you see Akoya, you see South Sea, and you see Tahitian pearls. Cultured pearls are something where like it is basically open, the shell is open and a irritant is put into it and the pearl forms around it. So you can see the difference. Here I have the Casey pearls, which are naturally formed, that are shapeless in color. You see the lustre. When it is naturally formed, the lustre is there from within. You can see the shine and sheer in this. Similarly, even the Basra pearls are naturally formed. Basra pearls, you do find bigger sizes, but what you most commonly see is smaller size because of its value, and also it's because you don't get them anymore. And it's just calcium, right? It changes with time. Then these are all our cultured pearls. In cultured pearls, you would find Tahiti pearls. These are the French Polynesian that naturally come in this color. This is a freshwater pearl. Freshwater pearl is when it's made, it's not cultured in the sea, but in freshwater. Then this is a South Sea pearl. There is a nucleus in these pearls. Here we have Akoya pearls of very, very, very good quality. You can see again in this as well, there is a little bit of a lustre. And here we have cultured pearls again. Next we have is, which few pieces from your collection do you think are truly unforgettable and worth treasuring? So I feel pieces that you should treasure should be something that is very unique and rare. Here, I just wanted to show you, like I want to talk about one kind of workmanship, which is KGF workmanship. So in KGF workmanship, what happens is it's all done in 22 karat gold. There's very light wax and it's made using Burmese rubies, rose cut diamonds, and Zambian emeralds. I would highly recommend such jewelry is because the workers that make this jewelry are very, very, very few that you only find in the southern belt. I would say there are very few families that are still making this work or still doing this work. So it is very hard, like in the future generations, it's very hard to find these pieces. It takes months, it's very laborious, it takes a long, long time to make such pieces. And with time, you will definitely, there'll be very, very, very few, like a lot more fewer people who will be able to do something like this. So I would say pieces like these are to be treasured, pieces like these are to be passed on generations to generations because the value is only going to increase with time. And apart from that, like if you were to ask me for any other normal, like general pieces that can be treasured with time would be the classics like Castle Harem or Gottapusulu or Mango Harem for that instance, because these, like coming from a South Indian family and, like basically, that from the time a girl child is born, we collect jewelry for that girl, right? And it starts with Castle Harem, it starts with Mango Harem, it starts with Gottapusulu. Like these are pieces that are passed on, these are pieces that we cherish over time. These are not pieces that we remove. And that is the reason why I generally suggest these pieces.
And they want to ask about terminals. So is it worth the investment or is it something that you can put your money onto?
So tourmalines, when it comes to gemstones, like again, tourmalines are also naturally formed. It is semi-precious, but it is naturally formed. Investment-wise, if you were to look at it, the thing is, it's a lot cheaper than rubies. But that is the reason why you can experience, you can enjoy a bigger size at a much lesser price. Again, like I told you, it's a gemstone. It is very widely available. When again that becomes scarce, when that becomes rare, automatically the price of that also will start to increase. Then we have what are the must-haves from your collection that masterfully balance classic and traditional elements? I have two pieces here. So we have these two. This is all fusion jewelry. So here we've used very traditional motifs like elephants that have diamonds and polkis. At the same time, we've paired it with Casalo. So we feel like it's a beautiful balance and blend between two different concepts, which is modern yet traditional. Similarly, here we have kundan along with gold fusion work. This is also a nice mix of traditional and kundan. Then I think somebody asked us, what do you have for menswear jewelry? So we like menswear jewelry. I feel like you can pick up good platinum chains or bracelets because platinum is not something that is so bright in yellow. A lot of men nowadays don't want to wear something that's too flashy. So platinum is a lot more subtler, and that is something they can easily wear on a daily basis. And even the gold used in it is more like it's a lot more duller. It's rose gold. Again, for menswear jewelry, you can find a lot of brooches. Definitely, like you can wear them with any sherwanis or suits or anything like that. For menswear jewelry, you can also find buttons like these that can be put onto sherwanis. Then there's no end to it. A lot of men, like nowadays, we can even do big South Sea pearls with a puligoro pendant for men. Any big size of pendants look good for men. So it depends on your occasion, but there's a lot of jewelry for men as well. Then another question I think we got in the replies right now is the certificate for pearls. So you do get a certificate for pearls when it is a natural pearl like Basra or KC, but even the certificate will not classify it as Basra or KC. The certificate will only classify them as either natural pearls or cultured pearls. So this is what we had for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching us. Thank you so much for supporting us. If you have any more questions, please feel free to DM us and we will reply to you instantly. And like always, thanks a lot for always supporting us. Thank you.